This is a training session for Chapter 4 of the DelDOT Right-of-Way Engineering Manual. This presentation is meant to be an overview, and it is recommended that the manual is to be used for design rather than this presentation. Chapter 4 discusses plan preparation. Topics include checklists, DelDOT CAD standards, example plans, formatting and drafting of plans, and showing the justifications for all acquisitions. The new right-of-way colorization is discussed, as well as proposed right-of-way monumentation, right-of-way data sheets, and plan revisions. DelDOT's checklists are located on the Design Resource Center. It is important to check for the latest version of the checklist on the DRC prior to the initial project setup. The construction plan submission checklist details the existing and proposed features and information that should be shown on the different sheet types within a set of construction plans. The right-of-way plan submission checklist details the existing and proposed right-of-way features and information that should be shown on the different sheet types within the right-of-way plan set. DelDOT's CAD standards are located on DelDOT's Design Resource Center under the CAD Wiki. DelDOT's resource files on the CAD Wiki have the templates that are automatically set for line style, line color, and line weight. Line styles and text rotation are found on the Design Resource Center under the CAD Wiki. Construction and right-of-way example plans are found on the Design Resource Center. These plans are to be used by the practitioner as a guide in the preparation of right-of-way plans. Example right-of-way plans are provided for standalone plan sets and right-of-way plans that are incorporated into construction plan sets. Bridge projects frequently have right-of-way plans that are incorporated into construction plan sets. The following items should be labeled on the right-of-way plans. Existing and proposed baselines should be labeled wherever possible. Property ownership information. Existing right-of-way. Existing dedications and reservations. Existing easements, existing property boundary lines, and road numbers. When numbering parcels, a series of numbers is used on the left side and another series on the right side of the road. In this example, the parcels on the left side are in the 100 series. Parcels on the right side are in the 200 series. Parcel IDs must be numbers with no alpha characters and can't exceed 999. Once parcels are assigned at the research stage, they can't be changed. All parcels should be numbered whether there is an acquisition or not. If a project is improving a main road and improvements on a side road are needed for a short distance, the practitioner can include parcels fronting the side road in the sequential numbering of the main road parcels. The existing right-of-way line should be dimensioned from the baseline. The proposed right-of-way line should also be dimensioned from the baseline. The offset from the baseline should be noted on the plans at the beginning and end of the project and at all breaks in the baseline alignment, along with all road widths at breaks along the right-of-way lines. The current property owner information that is shown on the plan sheets should match verbatim what is shown in the current deed or will of record. It is understood that there is limited space on the plan sheets, and sometimes the ownership information can be lengthy. In these instances, it is acceptable to abbreviate the ownership information that is shown on the plan sheets, but the full ownership text must be included in the right-of-way data tables and in the ownership of record tables on the right-of-way mosaic sheet. The practitioner must get concurrence from team support to use abbreviations. On larger, more complex projects, it may be requested that sheet numbers or plan sheet designations be included in the matchline text on all plan sheets. Having the sheet numbers or plan sheet designations helps the reviewer when navigating between plan sheets, especially when trying to locate where side roads match up on more complex projects. The right-of-way mosaic sheet should display the existing properties and existing right-of-way within the project limits. Parcels should be labeled with parcel ID numbers. Current ownership information, parcel ID numbers, and tax parcel numbers should be listed in the ownership of record schedule. Owner names should be verbatim name on the current deed. All mainline and side street baselines, stationing, road names, and maintenance road numbers should be shown. For larger or more complex projects, shading of the proposed acquisitions on the right-of-way mosaic is preferred. The Chief of Right-of-Way will request if this is required. This helps the reviewer to quickly see the acquisition areas by parcel and where any total acquisitions are located. For total acquisitions, the parcel ID oval on the right-of-way mosaic sheet and the ownership information in the ownership of record schedule should both be shaded to signify the parcel is a total acquisition. The most common way to justify the need for an acquisition is with an LOC line. The LOC line shows the limit of construction at the full extent needed for all elements of the proposed construction, access, erosion and sediment control needs, and other project elements. The right-of-way mosaic and the individual sheets are to be colorized. This aids the acquisitions, relocations, and settlements section in their preparation of the negotiation and acquisition documents for each property. DelDOT's CAD resource files have been updated so both the existing and proposed right-of-way line work will print out in the designated colors for each feature. Please refer to the example right-of-way plans and CAD wiki on the DRC. Proposed right-of-way monumentation is required at the start and end points of new right-of-way, denial of access, and right-of-way denial of access, and should be concrete monuments. Monumentation is required at all breakpoints where there are changes in lateral offset, such as PCs and PTs. For long distances between breakpoints, the maximum interval is 500 feet. Monumentation is not required at the intersection between each existing property sideline and proposed right-of-way, unless there is a breakpoint in the new right-of-way at that location. Monumentation is not normally placed for PEs unless approved by team support. If monumentation for a PE is needed, the monument should be a capped iron pin and placed at the start, end, and all breaks along the permanent easement. As an example, if monumentation of a permanent easement is required, the capped iron pin is placed at the start of the permanent easement, any breaks along the permanent easement, and at the end of the permanent easement. When placing monumentation, avoid streams, ditches, hard surfaces, or other features that would impede the physical placement of the monument. Each monument cell shall have monument number identifier on the construction plan sheet and numbered in ascending order following the project baseline stationing. Monument cells shall be shown on the right-of-way plans, but don't need monument number identifiers. Include each monument on the right-of-way monument schedule on the construction plans. This information is a revision from the 2023 Right-of-Way Engineering Manual and aligns with the example plans and checklists. All monuments shall have point numbers shown in the right-of-way monument schedules. Furnishing and installing monuments can be a pay item in the contract or furnished and installed by DelDOT. The practitioner should refer to the DelDOT CAD Wiki for the process on how to generate the meets and bounds data for each proposed acquisition area. The CAD Wiki will detail how to create the right-of-way data tables to be inserted on the right-of-way data sheet in the right-of-way plans. On the right-of-way data sheets, the proposed acquisitions should be sorted by project parcel ID, starting at the lowest and continuing in ascending order. The proposed acquisitions should be sorted by acquisition type for each parcel in the following order: right-of-way by PE, right-of-way, PE, and TCE. When there is a right-of-way by PE, the figure described in the data table should be the area between the existing right-of-way baseline and the existing right-of-way by PE, bounded on either side by the parcel's property lines. When entering property area information into the single parcel PDF on ProjectWise, there are three methods for determining property area: calculated, deed, and assessment. If entire limits of the parcel were resolved for the project, then the property can be computed as a figure in the design program and the calculated area determined and used in the data table. If the property was only partially resolved, then the property area should be pulled from the deed if given. If the property area is not specified in the deed, then the assessment area should be used. The Remarks data field in the right-of-way data table should be used to note any information that the right-of-way section needs to know relating to the parcel and the proposed acquisitions during the acquisition process. This information should be input in the Remarks data field in the element properties for each individual proposed acquisition figure. Refer to the CAD Wiki on the DRC for further instructions. Examples of information that should be in the remarks are existing private easements within the acquisition area, hazmat. Noting hazmat in the remarks field is sufficient. Proposed aerial easements, parking spaces impacted, total acquisitions, or agreements. The number of decimal places used on the right-of-way data sheet should be consistent. This table illustrates the precision of the output the DelDOT CAD resources automatically generates on the right-of-way data sheets. The same significant digits for the similar data should be held for the horizontal and vertical sheets, except for bearings and chord bearings. Those values should be held to 2 decimal places on the H&V sheets, since a higher level of precision is desired on those sheets. When a project parcel is bisected by the alignment, the property area remaining should be separated out into the parcel area remaining left and right relative to the direction of the baseline stationing and noted in the remarks column. Plan revisions are numbered consecutively starting with the number 1. The revision number is shown inside a square block next to the location of the change. Changes are done by erasures, not X's or crossouts. The revision number and changes on the plan sheet are noted in the revisions block on the sheet border of each affected plan sheet. For contracts that have separate right-of-way plan sets, the signature block is placed on the revisions sheet. For contracts that have right-of-way sheets incorporated into the construction plan set, the signature block is placed on the right-of-way sheet.